Got it. I am coming if we are live. One momento. Close out of there.
We're live.
I'm coming. Hi, everyone. How are you? Let me just turn down my electronics. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome to the Quest Show. I am your host, Lana Quest, and this is lovely co-host
Lana. So happy and honored to be back. It's been a couple of weeks. How have you been? Oh, wait. Before you get to that.
No, I know. I'm like, how have I been?
I know, right? I'm so excited. Like we haven't talked on air for a minute.
It's so true. It is so true. Oh my goodness. Before we get to how I'm doing, yes, before we're a little rusty. Bear with us. We're getting there. Like, share, and subscribe. We ain't gonna forget that though. So if you're out there, if you're lurking, hit that thumbs up button, share this video. Please hit that subscribe. We appreciate it. So I am Celtics. The Celtics are in the playoffs, girl, and they play tonight. We know that, guys. We're not going to keep you over. So, but how are you doing? Because I am happy about this.
That's good stuff, girl. When your sports team makes it to the finals or the playoffs or whatever, that is always good stuff, right?
It is. And we got Andrea in the chat and we're playing her team.
A little friendly competition going on here.
Exactly. Anything in the news of a particular interest?
A very nice honorable mention. I believe it was either yesterday or the day before. I am losing my mind. Work has been crazy. But second-degree murder charges were announced against the officer in the murder of Patrick Loyola. And I believe it was either yesterday or today. I read he has been fired from his job. So 2 steps in the right direction.
Absolutely. Gosh,
there is just nothing justifiable about a shooting in the back of the head.
Right.
In any other instance is considered an execution style killing. So there you go.
And I believe the DA there is a Republican. So, and if that's true, because I did Google it and I'm like, I think he's a Republican. It's funny because his name is real common and I can't think of it now. And I'm like, a few politicians with that name, pretty sure he's Republican. And if that is so, you're bad when the Republican DA is going, this is, we're not even going to fight this. You're fired. Or what is it? Did they fire him? They fired him, you said, right?
The police department fired him. Yeah. And he has been charged. He has been charged.
And good. So accountability, I'm all for it. That's always a good thing. Yeah. We need more of it. So we are going to start the show since we do not want to go over, and we do have a lot to discuss today. So are we going to start with Loudermilk? Because I just love saying his name.
Loudermilk is in a louder trouble. We crack ourselves up. But seriously though, we need some answers from Loudermilk.
We do. Mr. Loudermilk, can you please come down to the front and explain your tours, please? Can you please? I think he just gave a statement, girl, on TV. I think they were asking him about it, and I can't even remember his response. He was dodgy, of course, because he lied. Because didn't he say no tours?
I believe, and well, this was a while back, right? I think they had said that. I want to say they floated like MTG had given a tour, and I believe his name was brought up, and maybe he said no or something like that.
Right.
It takes a lot of time to sift through thousands of hours of tape. But you know what? It seems like somebody sat there and sifted through it and look and see what they found. A tour.
And something that the Capitol Police missed. because the Capitol Police had gone over it a week prior, and told the committee that they didn't see anything suspicious there.
Mm-hmm. And then you're taking pictures of not of George Washington's
Girl,
bust,
stop playing.
but of a hallway.
Stop playing.
A hallway.
And then the hallways and the cellars and everything else.
The dungeons, the tunnels.
The dungeons. Like, what is going on?
I would have never in a million years thought that I wanted to take a tour of the tunnels of the Capitol, because and maybe this is common knowledge and I just didn't know. I didn't know the Capitol had tunnels.
Right. Exactly.
So because it's not like, So it was like, where are you taking me?
Right.
If this had been a tour.
Right. The annals of the Capitol. Like, who does that?
Like, I'm good. I don't need to be down here. This seemed like this should be like top secret kind of, you're not supposed to be down here knowing where the tunnels and things go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's interesting too. And now I'm remembering what his responses was, because he was like, oh yeah, now I remember. But those people were tourists. Those people were from, what did he say? Is he from Georgia? His district or something like that. And there were kids there with teddy bears and they were taking pictures. And I'm like,
there were kids at the riot, at the insurrection too.
Right. But the kids could have been props. And you know what? Maybe all of the people there at the tour, maybe a couple were okay, but the rest of them, because they saw that guy at the insurrection, right? One of the men that were taking pictures was actually at.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that they made that connection, but here's the thing.
One of them. Mm-hmm.
Right. Maybe the mom and the daughter was there as a tourist, because that's where the husband told me to be going, but you still taking a picture of a hallway, a doorway.
Yeah.
You weren't even in like the rotunda, you somewhere. And it was a pandemic. There were no tours. The Capitol was closed.
Right. Yeah, Mary. I mean, I get what you're saying. Mary said they overplayed their hand. I don't know if it was overplayed. It's good information. You know what I mean? Because it keeps on with their lies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even if it doesn't lead to Loudermilk anything, it
needs to be known.
Right. And it's a long list of the goddamn lies, they just all lie. And the Republicans, even before Loudermilk, all the Republicans were like, no, there were no tours. We didn't give any tours.
Absolutely.
They were all saying that. So now we see how they lie over and over and over again. So,
and then this committee is about uncovering all of the truth. Like, this is not, this is not political theater. We had an insurrection happen in our country, and we need to know exactly what happened, each and every part of it.
And every single person involved, because these people are going to come up for re-election, right? So, hey, remember Loudermilk guy? He was the one that lied and said that he didn't have any tours in the Capitol building. Now we know, man. You want to think twice about sour milk.
Moving on.
Yes, well, this is gonna be a quick one. We're doing good. Look at us. Yes, what's next? One of my favorites.
I know A.G. James and her favorite family. Pick on.
Yeah. I love it.
Speaking of the 1-6 hearings and, whether or not Loudermilk, the tour produces anything, well, the hearings produce something for A.G. James, because what did she go and do?
She sure did. She's like, Trump, we need to talk again.
Those donations.
Yeah. Excuse me. Right. Right. And it's so funny, because that's really what an attorney does. What she does, she really connected the dots, because it's just not, because her district is New York. So she literally, oh, go ahead. Is it the cats? Oh,
no, yeah, it's the window. I forgot to close the outside world.
And I can't even hear it. Right. Okay. Because all she did was hear that fraudulent donation. So she's like, I bet someone from New York was given to him. So she's investigating on behalf of the New York constituents that probably don't even like her. They love Trump, but that's how you get there. Absolutely. That's how you get to investigate him. Like, look at the law. I love it.
Absolutely. In addition, the judge ruled that the Trump family, that would be Donald Sr., Donald Jr., and Ms. Ivanka, do have to sit for depositions. And I believe you told me the date was.
I think it's July. I think it's coming up. And I couldn't find it, but I'm pretty sure I heard July 15th. I did do my due diligence to look for it again. But it's definitely.
If it's July 15th, it's today's the 16th. That's less than a month away.
Less than a month. We want to hear from you guys. Yes, it was interesting too with that Letitia James thing, and that all of the funneling that money that he raised in the wrong spaces. I just keep remembering that they said Kimberly Guilfoyle got that $60,000 for giving that speech outside.
For 1-6?
Yes, girl. $60,000.
For real?
They said that's why she was dancing. That's why she got $60,000. I think she speak for 2 minutes or something? Would she go out there and go, yeah.
You know what? I don't know why I'm surprised. Any and every way that they can grift, they will.
Girl, they will. What? 60? Who is she? What? She's somebody's
girlfriend. She's Donald's girlfriend. What? So why are you getting any money? That's like Ivanka getting the $700,000 in consulting fees when she was a full-fledged employee of the Trump organization.
Girl, say it again. She literally got a whole salary. Somebody's salary. Somebody's hard work for 1 year.
For stoking the insurrectionist. Trump is like an out in the open Bernie Madoff with his followers.
Yeah.
He has fleeced them for great amount. I mean, just this. I think it was $250 million that he raised off of the big lie. That doesn't count what he raised during his campaigns or anything like that. Right. The amount of money that he has grifted off of his constituents is monumental, right out in the open. And they don't even see it.
They don't. He's like the biggest scammer there is. It's like they don't believe it.
It's amazing.
But it's just all of it. Like the NRA too, that we're giving their money to the NRA. Didn't y'all know that the NRA has been in trouble for misusing your money?
For living a lifestyle that you can't even dream of, because you don't even get those TVs on cable. On your cables, you don't even get those cable stations.
It's these people don't pay attention. They're not paying attention. I don't know, if I just get a little whiff of somebody's misusing campaign funds and I'm like, wow, I donated $20. I need to Google this and see what's going on so I don't send no more. They don't. They just keep giving.
And with gas being $5 a gallon and food and inflation being what it is, and you are sending money to a person every month that is using it, God knows how. God knows, because it's not Donald, it's Melania.
Right. Yeah.
It's Barron. It's Donald Jr. It's Kimberly. Well, Ivanka and Jared, I think.
They're making their own money, but
they nicely separated themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, Jared, side note, is being investigated by the DOJ for his deal with the Saudis.
About time. And everyone, we know nothing may come out of any of these little investigations, but it's just the point that they are being investigated. Information is going to come out of their dealings, whether it's something that they can find that they can sink their teeth into, and that's really criminal.
Mm-hmm.
But at least it's being investigated. You can't just do whatever you want to do.
Right. Nobody looks at it. There are no consequences. Nobody says anything.
You just turn the other way. No, that's just not how it is. No, we're going to look at that because everyone's been saying how come no one's investigating Jared? This is crazy. And maybe that's why Jared's talking. Maybe Jared's trying to get a deal. I don't know.
Whatever floats your boat, Jared.
Keep talking, Jared. We good.
Their children are young. They really not. You know what hit and a strange twist of fate
Mm-hmm.
when the pandemic was raging, Republicans were like, it's okay for the old people to die. Well, Donald just had a birthday. He's 76. I wonder how far that sentiment runs. Because, like I
God, he
said,
did have a birthday, didn't
the
he?
Kushner's children are young.
Right.
No one wants to go to jail with your kids being raised.
Exactly. Because that happened.
Oh my
That
God.
happened to Kushner. His daddy was in jail. So he know all about parenting from a jail
Girl,
cell.
that happened to that couple on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. They
What?
locked both of them up for tax fraud. And she went in first, and I think he came out. So they didn't have to like leave the kids,
Right.
but they surely did convict both of them. Don't think it's not possible.
Didn't that just happen to? I know we're going backwards. That also happened to, oh my God, was it oh my God, the black activist, the junior. Oh my goodness. Jesse, was it Jesse Jackson's son? One of them, remember,
Yes,
he went to jail and
him and his wife were convicted.
Well, and they had to wait. He had to go first, and then she went next.
Yeah, they will tag team the husband wife.
They should. Y'all don't want to testify against each other. You don't have to. It's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah, let's do gun reform because that was big, and that was big this week. I guess that was good news. So, not an actual deal, but the framework for a deal. I guess they're trying to rush, get this framework into something solid so they can get it to the Senate. They have 10 Republicans on board thus far. We have to take note when it gets to the Senate who is not voting, but I guess this thing includes, state red flag laws, tougher background checks for gun buyers under 21, a crackdown on straw purchases, which I had to look up to see what that was. And I guess
Kyle Wittenhouse, right?
Exactly. Exactly. People making purchases for other people.
Yes, thank you. I didn't let you get that out.
No, that's fine because I thought you were going to go. That's cool. There's money going to mental health and suicide prevention, which is very good. That's one of the big things. Not that we're not saying that there's this massive link between the massacres and mental health, but we're saying that Republicans have been defunding mental health for years. So getting them to get money back into mental health is a great thing.
And specifically like linking it to school safety, because I don't know if you know, but there has just been a steady decline of even school nurses, but school social workers, school psychologists, like a lot of schools are just, and districts are just devoid of even having that type of thing. So, they may have to get creative, have partnerships with, different organizations and things like that, where you will have hopefully continuous resources for kids. Because like I said, I would be traumatized by even having to do the active shooter drills, because the drills just drill it in you that this could actually happen. Right. And then, we just have things that happen in our everyday lives, things that we see on TV. We as adults had a hard time processing why anyone would go to Buffalo, New York and just start shooting in a supermarket. So you have to think that kids have even less experience to process these things and less ability to do so. So it is not everything that we wanted. They did not even mention ban or assault weapon. But this is the first framework, anything to have any sort of consensus since Clinton passed reform. And that's a really long time ago. Now, just going back to the mental health, like closing those loopholes, is also going to help. Republicans would probably be pissed if they really thought about it, but like these LGBTQ kids in the schools that they're trying to take away resources from it, like they're taking away resources from them where they can't even talk about their identities. They can't even talk about these things. That's going to have a big they're going to need some help, right? Because how are they going to, like you said, processing?
you process at home, but you also need to process at school. So it's really good
because
that
they're two different environments, right?
two
Home
different
is one
environments.
environment, school is a different environment. And here's the thing
Absolutely.
about mental health services, the confidentiality part of it all. So
Exactly.
these kids, hopefully,
Right.
as this money becomes available, let's
Right.
hope that, the 10 Republicans, it sounds like it's a
Right.
go.
Right.
Again, there's no, nothing on assault weapons or anything like that.
Right.
Maybe another 20 years down the line. Let's hope not. But just some of the things, the red flag laws with,
Right.
the domestic violence and things like that, because
Right.
those, we talk about the mass shootings, but those are other killings by gun that occur in great numbers that have largely been ignored. Women's issues, the domestic violence, they don't want to talk about that, but that's an issue. That really is an issue.
Right. Oh, it absolutely is. Also, the age thing, they're not trying to raise the age. The minimum requirement to buy an assault rifle is still 18 years old. But hopefully with the extra funding into the schools, maybe, because part of catching this is maybe teachers and counselors catching someone who has some issues. I think you just touched on that. I may be saying the same thing that you just said. I'm sorry.
No,
so maybe
it's true.
Yeah, maybe that will help them. The interesting thing is a real quick story. So I got real quick. So I was dropping off my youngest at school today, and I drop her off, and she's like, "Oh my God, there's Alex." I'm like, "Alex? I don't remember Alex is one of your friends." She goes, "That was Alexander. He's Alex now. He cut his hair, and that's Alex. He's my best friend." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." Now, this is like her third trans friend. So it's like, it just made my heart so warm that school is so open and so diverse and so inclusive that all of those kids, they don't care, and they are comfortable. And that is Alex. And I can't remember the other one's name. Like, they got the pronouns down, girl. The boys accept Alex. Those boys know that Alex used to be Alexander, but they call her Alex. She's out there with the boys.
It's respect, right? Like, at least these kids have respect of person and of other people and of people's autonomy in a way that some older people are just never going to get.
Exactly. Girl, exactly. And because it's the school environment welcomes it. So when your school is not welcoming it, then you have the kid that did this week saying he wants to point an AR-15 at an LGBT demonstration because
why?
The school doesn't.
But you know what? One other thing, and we do.
I know.
But also with them doing the mental health, in schools and for kids and things like that, maybe some of these kids will get the help that they need before they feel the need to go and shoot up a school. Maybe someone, because you know what, here's the thing. In almost all of these instances, you've heard things where people said, I reported this, but nothing happened. Maybe it's part of the reason some of that isn't happening is because the resources just aren't there. Well, we got this report in, but like, who do we send it to? Like, the police don't intervene until a person actually does something, right? And you have to think where are the resources? Why aren't these things going further? Why aren't they being investigated as they should? Maybe the mental health portion of that will help things out.
Yeah, we hope it's a start. What's happening in Uvalde? You told me this one, I believe, because I really don't. How?
Girl, the state's attorney has made a decision that they aren't going to be releasing any more information publicly to different she suggested that the different law enforcement agencies not provide, because she cannot order it. That's not something that she could do to anyone for a period of 6 months while they do an investigation. However, the state's attorney investigates crimes. The person that committed this crime is dead. There's nothing for her to investigate. There's no one
Right.
for her office to charge. So basically, this is a load of crap.
Right.
6 months from now, I was watching Lawrence O'Donnell. He said it falls like right around Christmas Eve, which of course you can't announce the findings then.
Nope.
Because it's Christmas and, you know, families, and you have to be sensitive, which pushes it off till after the new year.
Yeah.
Until voila, Abbott.
Exactly after. Yeah.
The elections have happened. And probably even after the sworn in ceremony has occurred too.
Yeah, you're right. So watch Uvalde. We can't forget that did happen. It's like it just doesn't exist anymore, and it absolutely does, because we still need to know what happened there.
Those parents. Oh, the other thing, there was a senior editor on for, it was either one of the San Antonio newspapers, one of the main newspapers, and she said that law enforcement and others are making it increasingly difficult to get the stories out, to speak with the families, even families that want to talk with the media.
Right.
They are being discouraged. They're putting obstacles in their way. They are trying to cover this up.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something, I'm not for it.
Right.
Brown people and you know, Black, brown people, they have been just as marginalized as we have.
Right.
And in some ways, a lot of times we don't even hear about it.
Right.
We don't hear about it. You know, when Trump put those kids in cages, we haven't heard words since about the psychological health of those kids.
Right.
I mean, we do know that the Biden administration did try to reunite all of them, but we don't even know if that happened, right?
Exactly.
So much of it we don't even know about. This was broad daylight, out in the open, and the fact that they are trying to not let these people know what happened is just a travesty. It just cannot be allowed. It can't be allowed. So we have to, as a community of people, of human beings, we have to make sure that these parents get the closure and the answers that they need, because law enforcement failed them. Point blank, full stop. Failed them.
Stop. Yep. Full stop. And they must pay.
They should. How are you,
bottom line,
being elected to city council and you're doing a horrible job as a police chief?
Right.
Oh, you know what? Another reason why they don't want, here's where the criminal part comes in. Because they said those children, some of those children were wounded. And didn't you tell me this? That they are wondering that if the police had gone in way before an hour, whether or not some of those children would have survived. They don't want those answers to come out.
Specifically, the little girl who put the blood of her friend on her. That story came from her. This is why they're investigating it, because her friend was still alive.
Right.
Her friend was still breathing for a long time, and then she said, she just stopped breathing.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. So yeah, people, keep Uvalde in your prayers and in your Twitter feeds, Facebook, social media. Conversate about it, because it's a story that does not need to go away until we have all the answers that we need.
Yeah.
So that's that.
It's awful. Last little story before we get to the quest quotes and questions. This is like the funniest thing. So note to white supremacists and neo-Nazis: if you're planning to disrupt a demonstration of the LGBTQ community, maybe not put on masks and shields and go 40 or 30 deep into a U-Haul in the parking lot of a hotel.
You know, the mask and stuff, I debatable. The whole piling into a non-air conditioned 1999, not even a long one where you could have slid a sofa or something. 1999 in your mask and all that. Come on, guys. What did you think was going to, and
I mean, we're glad that it happened, but what bozos, like,
what was
Nazis
going to
are-
happen once they got out of the U-Haul? Were they just going to go run charging?
I mean, thank God that they didn't have any weapons, like seriously, because that would have been kind of crazy. But yeah, what were you going to do? Like, I'm just like,
Are stupid.
I,
They just aren't the brightest bulbs. I'm gonna harken on back to Charlottesville. Sorry, Charlottesville, to have your name in my mouth, but they were carrying tiki torches from Home Depot and wearing khaki pants,
right.
probably not even from Gap. So there's
Right.
that.
No, exactly. So I guess 31 were arrested on conspiracy to riot charges. I guess it's the group is called the Patriot Front, and they are a splinter of neo-Nazi group, Vanguard America, who that formed after Unite the Right. So these groups are like, I guess this, I don't know, like breaking apart and coming back into something else and being reincarnated. Like
Dumber broke off from Dumb and formed their own thing. I mean, like,
finish with it. I'm just finished with that one. This is dumb. This is just dumb. Hey, y'all ready for some quotes and questions? I have some good quotes. So get ready, put your thinking caps on, and let's get on with this. The first one is my favorite one. Is everyone ready? I'm sorry. You ready, Anna?
I'm ready.
Okay.
As ready as I'm gonna be.
All right. Mary, Andrea, y'all ready? Why are you such a hater? Hate on civil rights, hate on women's rights, hate on reproductive rights, hate on voting rights, hate on marital rights, hate on equal protection of the law, hate on liberty and justice for all, hate on free elections. Why are you such a hater?
I have no idea who that is. But that is like the question of the last century. Why?
Okay. Hence, New York, House of Representatives, Brooklyn, Queens. Black male. There you go. Black male, New York, House of Representatives, representing Brooklyn and Queens.
Okay.
Nancy,
taking it to the mat, is he?
And he sure is. Nancy Pelosi, and nope, she's California. This is a black male. I know you're behind. Sorry. Black male, New York, House of Representatives. Why are you such a hater? You hate on civil rights. You hate on women's rights. Hate on
Mary gave
rights.
us a nice fact that the murderer, the guy that ran over Heather Heyer, was with American Vanguard. So that's
why the rebrand. Got it. Got it.
So now they're known as Patriot Front people.
Good info. Cory Booker is a spectacular guess. So I would say very, very close. Almost like Cory Booker's cousin. Black male, but he's from New York. Cory Booker is from New Jersey.
Jersey.
He looks like Cory Booker. Similar.
They do favor.
Yeah, you know who it is now.
I used to get them confused.
Yeah, right. Initials are HJ. He's a little, he may be a little more difficult for Mary to follow because he's not really out there that much. So I'm going to just let you guys know it is Hakeem Jeffries. That's who you thought, right? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, good, Andrea. Great. Andrea got it. He was going off. Tell us how you really feel, Hakeem.
Like, for real.
You got to see the video if you get a chance.
I think I shall.
It's fire.
Why are you always hating?
Okay, this is an easy one. I'm not getting in that car. Here are the hints. Fly, like a fly. Mama. White male.
I think those are the best hints you have ever given. The best.
Mary said Pence. What say you, Andrea?
I'm not getting in that car. I'm not getting in that. Those might be like, seriously, some of the 6 most important words ever said. I'm not getting in that.
I may change the show to that. I'm not getting.
I think you should.
I put team normal because that's what, the people who wasn't for Trump, he kept teasing them, calling them team normal, but I'm not getting in that car. Sounds really good.
In that car.
Yeah. All right. So Mike Pence was the answer for those of you who are not here live. Mike Pence. Next, let's see. Let's do a couple more. I spent time at Quantico. I'm sorry. I spent time at Quantico at the FBI training school. Y'all didn't know I was an agent. Black concussion.
Delusional. Oh, I'm sorry. That has not
deadbeat dad. Black deadbeat dad concussion.
Hurry up and guess, y'all. Hurry up and guess, because we're gonna talk about that for a minute.
Sounds like dude picking you up and pimp my ride car. Oh yeah, Andrea, you're delayed. Oh, Mary said it sounds like dude picking you up and pimp my ride car. I'm not getting in that car.
Girl, some of those cars that they pimped out were like really a little crazy.
Yeah. I spent time at Quantico at the FBI training school. Y'all didn't know I was an agent. I'm going to give Andrea a moment because she said, there we go. Yes, Herschel Walker.
Girl, they found 2 more kids. He went from 1 to 4.
He probably got 6.
Right. But then talking about he wanted to apologize for all the African-American deadbeat dads that are out there not doing what they supposed to do. I bet you.
What he know about African-Americans?
At least one of those children wrecked the flat screen when they saw it.
Right, because they probably full ass adults for real. Yeah.
No, like when they heard that, they probably straight punched their TV.
And they should have, because
saying this right now.
And he ain't even an African American. He ain't even black. What you talk about, Herschel? Please.
But you think not African American.
He ain't black. He black here. He just that. He got the color on his skin.
He got the deadbeat down. How you going to talk about? I didn't want to say nothing about the other children because
black community.
Politics.
Don't put that on no black community. Put that on you, Herschel. That's you. Don't got nothing to do with no black community. Black men out here being dads. Go sit down. Except for some. Okay, two more. There will come a day that Donald Trump will be gone, but your dishonor will, I can't remain. My writing. There will be a day that Donald Trump will be gone, but your dishonor will remain. White woman, Wyoming.
Murray said, "Hi, he ain't black.
He ain't black. He what's his name? OJ Black."
I don't know where Herschel Walker is. He's just a special sort of.
Mary coming out the top with that. Andrea, what say you? There will come a day that Donald Trump will be gone, but your dishonor will remain. White woman, Wyoming. Andrea. Yeah, she is delayed.
What time do the finals come on? Because we lost all our men tonight.
9:00, but they're probably doing the pre.
I said, yeah, we lost all our men tonight.
Yeah. I already figured that. Like, I knew that. It's fine. Ladies got it tonight. That's all good.
All
right.
Down.
Yes, Andrea. Liz Cheney. Yes, Mary. Liz Cheney. One more, last one. To everyone outraged that Biden is here, we're sending you thoughts and prayers to help you through this difficult time.
Ooh. Ooh, who was throwing shade?
White male late night.
Oh.
Go Warriors. Girl, get out of here. The Celtics got a whole blackety black coach. What's wrong with you, girl? Recognize. Go look that up. Google that. And he dated Nia Long. What's wrong with you? How you going against the black coach? Everything black, girl. Come on.
They got staff.
To everyone outraged that Biden is here, we're sending you thoughts and prayers to help you through this difficult time. Very close, not Colbert. Colbert. Oh my God, my tongue does not wrap to say that. Colbert.
Yeah.
That's okay. Thank you. Colbert.
So it must be
white male late night. The other one.
Not the silly one. Or maybe it is. I would be surprised.
Come on, Andrea. What say you? White male late night. Yes. Okay. Andrea, where are you? We got you locked in, Mary. We got your guess. Mary says Kimmel.
Mm-hmm. That would be my guess as well.
Andrea is way behind. Andrea, I'm thinking you trying to watch some of the game or something, the pre-show. There you go, Andrea. Jimmy, that's right. Jimmy Kimmel was the answer. Mm-hmm. Good job, ladies. Good job. Good job. So we have one more special interest story, and then we will do a Black fact if we have time to do that. What we got for a special
Girl, it's 1616 committee and the public hearings that have been taking place. And all of the nice little truths and surprises and just a veritable who sat down in front of those cameras and just started wagging their tongues.
Exactly. There was 3 days. So day one was the violence. They did most of the violence, and then day two was the grift, and today was
I did not get the chance to catch any of today's.
Okay, so you go with the first 2 days, and I'll bring up the rear.
So so the first hearing focused on the violence, focused on the acts leading up to the violence. I'm going to say one of the things that I guess, I don't know if surprise is the right word, or that I found interesting was the fact that the Proud Boys at 10 o'clock in the morning, before Trump even spoke, went and cased the Capitol. And we found that out through the testimony of a documentarian that had kind of implanted himself with the Proud Boys to do a documentary on them, correct?
Yeah, Nick Quested.
Nick Quested, yes. And he also took film of them, Stuart Rhodes and Tariq, what's his name?
I almost said
Come on, Mary. She knows his name.
She sure do. She can give this segment by
heart. With each other in the underground parking garage. And then that next morning, he walked with the Proud Boys to the Capitol, like I said, before Trump even began to speak. And the other thing that I may have known, but was told anew again, that was not a 5-minute walk. It was 2 miles between the Olympics and the Capitol. That was not, we're going to mosey on across the lawn and we're going to be right here at the Capitol. That was not that at all.
Enrique Torrio.
I almost said it right.
Yeah.
Enrique Torrio. Reminds me of Danny Terrio from Dance Fever, but I digress. Anyway.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. And then hearing 2, like you said, focus on the grift. The amount of money that they made off of the big lie when they started telling the big lie. I don't know if this was the first, this was the second hearing. They
Mhm.
showed Trump, and we knew this as
Mhm.
far before the election even happened.
Yeah.
If I lose, it's because it
Before.
is rigged.
Exactly.
April, like
Yeah.
before even some states' primaries had been held,
Yeah.
you know. And so it just continued on and continued on.
Mhm.
And I think they said he had raised like $250 million dollars.
Yeah.
Hundreds of emails went out.
Girl.
Hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds.
For that PAC. It was that Save America PAC that
Yes.
doesn't exist.
Exactly. And the fact that they also focused on this, I don't know if this was first or second, that he knew he was going to lose. He knew. They told him the data was there. He was told 6 ways from Sunday, you are not going to win this election. And 7 days from Monday, he told that daggone lie that it was stolen from him.
Yeah.
So it was the second hearing that led to AG James in New York investigating the contributions to that political PAC and exactly what happened to them. And you know what? I said political PACs have stipulations as to what you can do with that money. But guess what? They are so corrupt and so greedy. They blew past all of that. Laws do not apply to them. They were always going to use that money on themselves. They had they could give a rat's ass less because they figure about it. If he actually says he's going to run again, the money is going to come pouring in.
Right. Right.
It's like a continuous, it's like a Ponzi scheme all into himself.
Yeah. You're right. Like the pyramids, like a pyramid scheme.
All his followers at the bottom.
Yeah.
Supporting him and his family.
And his friends.
Yeah. Right. The Bannons and the
Guilfoyle.
Monopoly guy. What is Roger Stone?
You called him the Monopoly guy.
I can't remember his name. But anyway, back to the hearings. So those were hearings 1 and 2. They really focused on the money trail. Again, that led to the investigation being opened by AG James and the violence that ensued and just the coordination that went into it. They showed the stack formations going in. There was it was so well coordinated.
Yeah, I love it. And today, day 3, and like if you love the law, like you would know, like this, like Anna just said, this is so, they're doing such a good job. Like they're laying it out so great. Day 3 was the pressure campaign, right? It was all about the intent.
Who testified?
And girl, okay, so here's the thing. It wasn't really people that household names. It was like a judge, Pence, people with Pence
about
right, exactly, those type of people. So forgive me, I don't remember those.
But they
names
didn't get Stone. I mean, Jeffrey Rosen or
they weren't household names, but it was all about the pressure campaign, and it was to show the intent and that he knew, because that was a missing piece from the second hearing. Is like, is the big lie, but did he know? Like, did he really think about, did he? No, it was the pressure campaign because he knew, because while they were waiting for the results to come in, again, he's already plotting and planning this big lie. And not only was he plotting and planning, so was Eastman. So today was a Trump and Eastman show, girl. It was Trump and Eastman. Pence's team told Eastman on so many occasions that this is not going to work because Trump is like, find me a way. That's just, that's what he does. Find me a legal way to do this. So Eastman is supposed to be some scholar, blah, 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 and comes up with some legal
Mumbo
bullshit,
jumbo.
basically. And that's basically what Pence and Pence's team said. No, we're not going to say this. No, we're not going to do this. Leading, he had already told them, that's not what I'm going to do. And I guess Trump had put on the White House website that because see, Trump had been saying all along that this is what he was going to do, that it was a big lie, and that he and Pence were in agreement. And they never were in agreement, because Pence from the get-go was like, absolutely not.
But you know what? And that's funny, because remember, leading up to the certification, everybody was kind of wondering like, if Pence was going to do anything. Even like the media was talking about, like, you know, is he going to help Trump in some sort of way? When the whole time Trump knew. So that just gives even more credence to the fact that he knew on 1/6 he was going to make something happen. That was the other thing from the first hearing. They said that shortly after, and I don't remember the exact date, there was a meeting that Sidney Powell, Giuliani, and a couple of other people were at. And the White House lawyers didn't know that they were there. Once they found out, they rushed in and tried to take notes, figure out what's going on. But not a half hour later, Trump sent out that tweet talking about come to the Capitol or come to Washington on 1/6.
Girl. And what they did today was, it was showing what Pence was doing that whole time. Like, we didn't have the visual of Pence in that room, you know, waiting, you know, being protected. We didn't have that. So we had him there. We had him, you know, trying to write out what he was going to say when he went to certify the stuff. Like, and then they had, you know, showing him doing that tucked away while Trump is, you know, getting a riot going, you know what I mean? Like, he's trying to run out of there and protect himself. And then they're showing Trump and his tweets and saying, you know, Pence didn't do the right thing. He's not going to do the right thing. And then
he already knew Pence wasn't going to do the
right thing. And that's when they started. Then they showed the rioters out there saying, we're going to go in there and we're going to get the lawmakers and we're going to drag them by, you know, drag them in the streets and blah, blah, blah. And then the DOJ, this was the surprise. And so the DOJ had an informant with the Proud Boys. So they were going to kill Pelosi and Pence. That was what they were going to do. He confirmed it.
Wow.
That was confirmed. Yeah.
And you know what? You know what else was interesting was, even though the Proud Boys were down there at 10 o'clock in the morning, that stack went in after everything had got going, right? Like, there was a full-blown crowd already out there when that stack went in. In fact, I want to say, they may not, Mary would know for sure, they may not have already been in the building, but they were close.
They were close.
They were close.
They were closer than that. They were closer than they were closer than everyone else. Pence did undergo a lot of pressure. I am not saying that Pence just had a birthday. Pence is a hero. I'm not saying Pence is a hero, but Pence did have a lot of pressure on him. Trump was calling him a pussy. He called him a wimp. Like, he was, this is like, Trump all
was going to have him murdered.
Oh, yeah. With his family, because remember,
with his family, right? His mother, mama, his wife and daughter were there.
Right. That's how crazy that situation is. And I know, like, again, Pence is not a hero, but that was a lot of pressure for him to be like, you know what, I'm not. But again, it's like, dude, if you don't certify them, then what comes next? Like, what's going to happen next, Pence? Like, really, you don't do this. What
like I said, the 6 most important words, I'm not getting in that car.
Right.
Had he got in that car, it would have been all over with.
Yeah.
It would have been all over with. Yeah. And here's the thing. At that point, he may not have been so sure that they may not have taken him to the daggone crowd. I wouldn't have trusted anyone at that point.
Me either.
Not
with your family.
And you can hit him. You think he couldn't hit him say, hang Mike Pence?
He was getting the texts. He knew. He was seeing what Trump was writing. He knew, I'm sure he knew that. He saw Trump's tweet. He saw somebody told him Trump said you deserve it. He knew all of that. I mean, if he wanted to be a hero, he could testify before 1-6, but he ain't that much of a hero, is he? But just saying.
Girl,
Just
they
saying.
didn't already call for his head, literally.
I know. I know. But okay, 8:56, 4 minutes. I'm gonna whip through this Black history fact. It is about Jan Ernst Matzeliger. One of my favorite facts, Jan Matzeliger was born September 15th, 1852 in Dutch Guinea. He settled in the US in 1873. You're going to find out what he did very soon. He worked several years to learn English, but he was a dark-skinned man and could not find work. He had settled in Philly, couldn't find work because although you weren't from America, you still Black, you still get treated the same. No difference. So he moved to Lynn, Massachusetts in 1877 to seek work in the rapidly growing shoe industry. Y'all gonna learn about shoes right now. So he found a position as an apprentice in a shoe factory. He learned the trade of cordwaining, involving crafting shoes almost entirely by hand. Wow. Cordwainers make a mold of the shoe with wood and stone. You hear what I'm saying? Wood and stone, and it's shaped to the foot of the person, right? Mm-hmm. So then they attach the body of the shoe, like the leather or something, over the shoe. And this is all by hand. And then nail the nails into the shoe, which that's called the last. It's called shoe last or something like that. Okay. All by hand. Matzeliger was like, this too much. He's like, we gotta find another way. It's not working out for me. So he came up with a machine so that the process didn't have to be done by hand. So on March 20th, 1883, Matzeliger received a patent for his machine. The machine held a shoe and pulled the leather around the heel. So you have the mold. So the machine just pulled the leather over and put the nails in. So they were able to make 700 shoes a day, which was 7 times more than he was doing by hand. It's just like a Black person to be like, this is just way too much work. So that machine, I guess, shoe companies around America was buying out this machine, but unfortunately, he died at the age of, I believe it was 37 of tuberculosis. So he didn't live to get a lot of the money made from that machine.
That's all right, girl. He was like, time back and sewing them shoes by hand was more than enough for me.
Right. So he got the patent for the first shoe lasting machine. And over time they have, it has evolved. But yeah, it came from his
Black way to make something more efficient. Like, this is for the birds. They probably hadn't even come up with the thimble yet for your thumb. That's for the birds.
Right, girl. What kind of nails? He got a hammer and then pulled the leather. Girl, a mold made from wood and stone. Where they do that at?
Right.
So yeah, that's it. Jan
But
Ernst.
there is something to be said for the art of shoemaking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, a well-made shoe is still a beauty to behold.
It really is. And it's something we just really don't think about. And now we can think about like, wow.
Because everything comes from China.
Right. On that note.
On that note, step out in your finest shoes.
Go Celtics. Go Celtics. Andrea, I'm sorry. Mary, Andrea, thank you for showing up. We appreciate you guys. Thank you, Anna.
You're welcome. See you guys next time. Next week?
If
there's not a congressional hearing, no, I'm going to be there. Okay. I think.
Okay. Well, there will be a show, but we'll figure it out.
We will. See you guys.